Haribol Gadadhar Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavat
Today
Pranam,
we are
Jai
very
Prabhu.
eager to hear your story, how you came to Krishna, and your experiences with your Guru Maharaj, how you met your Guru Maharaj, how you came to be in Radhakunj, your experiences here. Take it away.
Well, I guess you could say it starts in my previous lifetime. I was born into this Hare Krishna movement on Radhastami of 1986. It was a funny story. My mother was a week late with me, and so my father decided, since Radhastami was coming, it would be a good idea to throw my mother in the back of a van on a bumpy.
That's a good idea.
On a bumpy.
Like, Radhastami's coming. Let's chuck her in the back of the van.
And it worked. I was born 10 in the morning on Radhastami day, and so yes,
You were late.
about a week. Yeah. The road we went on was old Vrindavan Road, and of course I don't remember anything, but yes, I came out. New Vrindavan is where I was born. Yes.
Very cool.
My father gave me the name Gadadhar Pandit Das.
Oh, was that because you were born in Radhastami?
Yes, Prabhu.
You said that.
Yes. And from that point on, I spent a lot of my childhood between New Vrindavan, and Mayapur. Spent a little time in when I was 5 and 6 in Mayapur Gurukul, and also about 3 months in Vrindavan Gurukul.
Did you like growing up with the Bodhi community?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, New Vrindavan had at least 1,000 devotees, some around the outskirt areas, and at least 700 devotees practicing within the temple area. You know, every day was playing with friends. My mother and father would often bring me up for Mangalarti. I would pass out underneath the Abhishek cart, wake up for... Yeah, all the kids were laid out while there was Mangalarti going on. All the kids were laid out on the side, sleeping, and then we would wake up perfect time for Guru Darshan and Sri Guru Chara Padmana. And so...
Would that be in the Golden Temple?
That was not the Palace of Gold. Palace of Gold was the Samadhi for Srila Prabhupada Pushpa.
You would go there as well for some darshan?
Not as often. The main temple was lower down. Okay. But yeah, it was a beautiful experience growing up in Vrindavan.
So lots of kids.
Lots of kids, lots of playtime. The times that I wasn't in the ashram, we had a school called Nandagram. We had beautiful teachers, Lili Shuka, Devi Dasi, Mother Ruchi, many others, and they taught us every day. We would go chant rounds, read nice Krishna books, and also do general studies. And yeah, it was a beautiful experience growing up in New Vrindavan. Always around the devotees.
Did you ever go to a regular high school or anything like that?
Yeah, after around my 12th year, I moved up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and which was kind of a sad time because I, at that point, moved away from Sadhu Sangha. It was just my family and I went to regular high school. It was a tough transition, but I think it was part of purification, Krishna putting me through this, because it wasn't until after high school and a little bit of college did I realize how empty my life was, how lost I was, and I had no sense of direction, what I wanted to do. I wasn't attracted by most school, colleges. I wasn't into going and partying and all this nonsense. So, although I did partake, that was... but that's, you have to go, it seems like it's part of the process. You got to go really far down sometimes, at least for me, and then to be able to get kicked back up. And so then I had heard via a friend about Festival of India, and I was really attracted to it because then I could do service and integrate myself back into the Krishna conscious community, so to say. Because in my time in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, going to school, I would only visit New Vrindavan for major festival days, and as everybody knows, on major festival days, it's kind of like a whirlwind. You're just caught up, and it's hard to really practice any sadhana. You're more so just catching up with your friends and such things like this. But So once I got on Festival of India, Madhuha Prabhu was a really nice a devotee of Srila Prabhupada, doing amazing service, taking a bunch of young boys all around around America and Canada and Mexico, setting up tents for Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra and Sudarshan, and I was able to start what I would almost consider my actual service towards Guru and Vaishnava at that point, because in my young days it was just like I was just doing whatever my parents said. I was going with the flow, and but now this was coming. This is something I wanted. I had some sort of inner desire to do, and I felt at that point I was being guided somehow, either by Srila Prabhupada or somebody, of higher order, that was, okay, this is what you should do. And so once I was on Festival of India, I had, I feel like, when you go to the Dham, you sometimes get purification, even though it may not seem like a positive thing. It could be something very, disturbing actually to your physical body. And at that point, I feel like going on Festival of India and serving the devotees, serving the Vaishnavas, I got some sort of purification, and then it was a heavy purification. I ended up breaking my back snowboarding. So I left Festival of India, and I felt like Krsna saw that I was going in some different directions, so he's kind of gave me a 180.
Your mind.
He gave me a 180, and so I ended up breaking my pelvis in 5 places and 2 places on my back, and so I was in the hospital for 6 weeks. Yeah, and then prior to this, also I had met Gauravani, or some people know her as Gopavallava Didi, and so we kind of hit it off, and she helped me in the hospital while I was there, taking care of me. This was in 2010, right after I got off Festival of India. And so ever since then we had a connection, and then she told me to come to Hawaii with her, and I was able to meet a lot of devotees in the Hawaii, the Big Island Sangha. And that was my first interaction with Gurudev's Sangha. And instantly, I could see the love and the devotion that I had kind of been missing from ISKCON. And it's not to say that ISKCON didn't have it. ISKCON did, but ISKCON is so large that to really find those niches of people serving so nicely and so genuinely, you had to be in the right place, and I hadn't been. And so when I came to Gurudev's Sangha, it was like it was an awakening. And and then next thing I know, I found myself in Badger, in New Braj, and that was when it really hit me, because I just saw, I can mention name after name, but specifically I'll mention Nityananda Prabhu, Jai Govinda, and Braj Prabhu, Gopanadini, just serving so much every day without fail. And so that really touched me, and even though I was still caught up in my Maya, I knew, okay, I need to be by these people, because that's the only way. And then one thing led to the next, and I, found myself serving at the temple when I could, and I found myself, okay, maybe I should go back to India.
So when was your first trip to India?
My first trip, or since I met Gurudev? First trip when I was 3 months old.
How was that?
I don't remember.
Can you tell me about your experiences?
Well, I don't remember my experience. My mom had a bad experience, but she wasn't able to nurse me because she got sick. But yeah, 3 months, and then second experience was when I was 1 and 2. We stopped over in Malaysia for 6 months, and then from there we went to Vrindavan. And I stayed in Vrindavan for probably 5 or 6 months, when I was like between the ages of 1 and 2. Between staying in Malaysia, between Malaysia and then going to India. And then I went again when I was 4 through 6, basically. Like, it was like about...
Stay in Mayapur?
Yeah, that's when I went and stayed some time in Gurukul at the end portion of that. And
then once you were, after the festival in India, you went? You went to Badger, the Big Island?
The next time I went was in 2007. Actually, I went to India in 2007, and I forgot to mention that was also part of the that transition period of coming out of high school, college, that I was seeking, And so 2007 I went to India. I went on Radhanath Maharaj's yatra in Navadvip. It was really nice. Got to hear a lot of Harikatha. And from there, that's when I was really starting to say, okay, I want to serve. So I came back and I got on Festival of India. And then I went again in 2010 with Nityananda, and that's when I had no intention of even getting any initiation. But when I got there, Srila Bharati Maharaj, people were saying, oh, Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj is, a beautiful acharya, and he's speaking such nice Harikatha, and you should go hear from him. So, naturally that's how it works. The Vaishnavas lead you in the right direction, and then you can hear from a beautiful acharya, and that's what I did. And hearing his Harikatha was amazing. And it wasn't until honestly after that it hit me more. But on the advice of and the encouragement of many devotees like Kishori Mohan, Sudevi, and Sajjan Maharaj, and many other devotees, I was kind of thrown before my Gurudev, and he, Gurudev has a funny way of interacting, and I kind of almost would say almost ingenuinely kind of was like, yes, I would like to get initiated. And he looked over at I think it was Sripad Damodar Maharaj, Indian Damodar Maharaj, and they kind of said something in Hindi and laughed, and then he goes, yes, and so from that point on, I got Harinam, and I had only intention of getting Harinam because I didn't feel qualified to take Diksha at the time. But so many of my, who are now my godbrothers and sisters, were saying, no, you should take Diksha. And I said, well, I can't. And Sripad Damodar Maharaj said, no, you wait 3 months. And I said, okay, yes. And then I found myself, they kept putting me on the list for Diksha. So they said, yes, you're on the list for Diksha. And then I would go back and they said, and Damodar Maharaj would go, what are you doing here? Get out! And I was like, okay. I'd go back. It happened about 3 times. Then finally Kishori Mohan said, no, I'll go talk to him. Say, okay, I'm vouching for you. And so then finally...
It was the hair, wasn't it?
It was I think the hair at that time was cut. I had cut it before I had taken Harinam. So, but within this week of taking Harinam and taking Diksha, I had the good fortune of taking Diksha from my Gurudev right near Radhakund. So it was a really nice, beautiful experience. And so from that point on, I felt which should be natural, I felt a inner desire to want to take things a little bit deeper and be more serious in my practice, which I'm still endeavoring to do. But yes, I'm here in Radhe Kunj. I had come to Radhe Kunj the first time, which was a year and a half ago for Kartik.
Year and a half ago.
Yeah. And I came with Nityananda Prabhu, and my interaction with the Radhe Kunj devotees was amazing. I felt an instant connection. Prem Pradeep Prabhu, Rasik Prabhu, Giridhari Prabhu. Everybody was so nice to me. Everybody accepted me as like their brother. So I instantly felt that. And it's places like these where pure bhakti is happening, when you can come to a place having never met anybody and they immediately engage you in service, immediately treat you like their brothers, and so that's what the deeper mood of Krishna consciousness is about, is love of God, love between each other and coming together to serve. And that's what Radhe Kunj is doing. They're serving Hari Guru and Vaishnava here, and I saw that, and I'm very inspired, and I can see everybody else is inspired. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate Prabhuji and everything he's done and everything he's doing. I hear so many stories. The devotees here can go on and on. Some of the few that I've heard is just his, serving. He's a Naishika Brahmachari, and he's been serving Gurudev, serving the Vaishnavas since he was a kid, and it's just, it goes way beyond my ability to speak about, but I want to give my Dandavat Pranams to all the devotees here, and for helping me, encouraging me, and also encouraging everybody who comes through here with their example. So I really do appreciate it. And now I would say we're in the present moment, and I'm trying to further my spiritual path and go deeper, and these devotees here are helping me do that. So,
have any words of advice or any suggestions for people who say are watching but have not come to Krishna yet, or are a little bit maybe afraid, or I don't want to join some cult, I don't want to get initiated, right, maybe, or they're looking from the outside in. A lot of people think like devotees are so strange and another world, So
yeah, well, there's a devotee here right now. His name is I guess you could say Bhakta Lucas, but he's a good example of somebody who's coming and who's submissively inquiring, and who's not coming with attitude. He's not coming with some, intent to gain something other than maybe, pure knowledge. And to have, from what I've heard from the Vaishnavas, is to have a submissive mood would be my best advice. We can skip all the formalities, skip all the cultural differences in dress. We can go into the true deeper meaning of pure bhakti, which is love of God. And so we're all seeking this. We're all seeking love. We're all seeking acceptance, and we're all seeking the community to be able to, as one, serve Krishna, serve for the higher purpose. And so, like Rasik Prabhu said, if we, get bewildered by all these formalities, all these cultural things, they can kind of throw us off. That we have to look at what the true source is, and there are many sadhus here, specifically Premananda Prabhu, who, by his mood and by example, he's setting that. So if you come and hear Harikatha and in a submissive mood, that would be my number one advice. To not be so, let your walls down and just inquire. Have good questions. If you have a question, ask it, but not for the intent of, smashing the other person, or, gaining some benefit for yourself about it. So that would be my only advice.
Thank you very much. Hare
Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha vidnam pavanebhyo vaishnavi.